Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tronage, and today we're going to be talking about Quad Box for June 2019. Want to know what's inside? I already do. Wait, how is that even possible? I'll explain. Stick around. Alright guys, so we have our June 2019 box here ready to get cracked open. And just if you're new around here, how we all work. I bring you on close, we do a little unboxing, we do it all live and in person. And I give you my genuine reactions to what I see and what we get. Then after we do that, we talk about it, we do a little bit of a cost analysis, and we see if it's worth what we paid and how we've been making out with this whole thing called the mystery box. But before we get started with that, slam that subscribe button. While you're at it, hit that bell icon. Makes finding my videos a whole heck of a lot easier. Keeps you in the know when I post videos such as this one. And it does help support the channel, and that's always appreciated. Alright, so let's get started. Gonna bring you all in close. We're gonna take a peek at this. And a little side note, if I ever refer to this box as the May box, that is because I made a little bit mistake, but I'll try to correct those. So let's come on in close and take a peek. All right, we have our quad box. I am super excited to open this thing that I'm not gonna dilly-dally. I'm gonna dig right in. So I got my blade. Let's cut this label. And let's see what we got. Are you ready? Here it comes. Now, of course, I always grab that paper and throw it to the side because I don't want any surprises ruined for me. Now, let's dig in what we got here. So I'm going to start off right here on the top. We have a fox ear lollipop antenna. Let's take a little quick peek at that. Okay, so it's an MMCX connector if you want to take a peek. So it's a fox ear lollipop antenna, Lollipop 3 to be explicit, and it does have an MMCX connector. And the box says hello. Okay, so let's move on. Put that away. Next up, we have, looks like a strap for your transmitter, and it looks like I've gotten 2 of them. I don't know if that is normal, or if that's just a mispick, or if you're supposed to get 2. But I got 2, so maybe I'm lucky, or maybe everyone got 2. I'm not sure, but it's basically a Rotor Riot one. Feels a little bit rough. I don't think this is going to really compete with the Newbie Drone one. That is my absolute favorite. But, you know, hey, if you don't have one, now you got one, so that's pretty cool. Let's see what else we got. We got RushFPV.com. Looks like a VTX. Yes, it's their Rush Tank Race VTX. Whole bunch of little specs here if you want to read about them. So that is a pretty cool. Can always use a nice VTX. And by the looks of it, it's an MMCX connector. So if you don't want to use the pigtail here that's included, I'm sure you can throw that fox ear on here, which is a pretty nifty thing. Next up, we got our Propsicle stickers, which looks pretty cool. Kind of like that whole summertime propsicle type deal. Kind of clever. And we got some Propsicle props here. These are HQ props, as you can see in the corner. And I'm not seeing where it has the... Oh, I see. Okay. I see what they did here. This is kind of a nifty thing. Normally we get 3 packs of the same prop. This time we got 3 packs of 3 different props, and the color is what determines what it is. So you got Rippin' Red, Power Loop Purple, and Bando Blue, and it's a 4.8, a 4.5, and a 4.3, and they're all 5 inches. So to translate for those who may not be familiar, that would be a 50-48 for the red, a 50-45 for the purple, and a 5043 for this blue color. So I got a little bit of mixed emotions on that because it's kind of cool getting a little bit of variety, but at the same token, if you put all 4 of these on there and you bang it up and you chip one, now you can't use any of these props because they're different props. So I'm going to keep in mind. And we have a t-shirt. Oh, I love it. I love it. It is a Propsicle shirt, which is pretty cool. I'm digging the Propsicle shirt. Summertime, loving the Propsicle shirt. Although I will say, Bucks is a little lackluster. But we'll see it when we do the cost analysis. So we got the t-shirt. We got our 3 sets of props. We have a little sticker sheet. We got a little antenna. And we got a little VTX. So not every box can be a home run. Hopefully, this will be at least somewhat good. But let's do a cost analysis and see what we got. And I forgot about the transmitter straps. They were off on the side. They're in there too. All right. Still a little lackluster, but we'll see. Let's go. I ran the numbers and here they are. Now, let's look at these line by line and we're going to talk about them. So the first item on the list here is these Rotor Riot neck lanyards. Mine are a little bit tangled, but you get the idea here. And you are supposed to get 2 of them. And in the little paperwork that came with it, it said post a picture of you and your buddy wearing your lanyards with a hashtag and blah, 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 and you can win something. Cool. But I'm going to call shenanigans on this, and that's why I marked it in that little pinky orangey color. The reason why I'm saying that is because everywhere I looked for this specific item, it comes up as like a discontinued item. And even if you go to the Rotor Riot website, which is right on the lanyard here, it's not available. You can't buy these. There's a newer, I guess, upgraded version. You know, it's got some of the more luxurious features in a lanyard. It's got like the little quick disconnect here between the clip for your transmitter and the lanyard part so you can disconnect. It looks like it's made of maybe of a softer material instead of this webbing on here. So I think this might have been just some leftover stock and they were just getting rid of it. So I'm not going to quote it as the full $4.99 each price, which would make it around $10. So I'm giving it a half price and I'm going to call it $5 a piece roughly. And I think even that is extremely generous because I really would think these are more like a $1.99, maybe 99-cent item since they are discontinued. Moving along. Fox here, antenna, Lollipop version 3. Always happy to have another antenna. After a couple crashes, your antenna busts off, breaks, whatever, and these Lollipop ones seem to be pretty robust. And I use them on all my little micro quads because they're so tiny, lightweight, and I've started been using some of them on the larger quads. And I'm very happy it has the MMCX connector on it because that's my connector of choice if I have a choice to be made, because it's just a more robust connector than the IPX UFL connector that has a tendency to pop off. And it's not fun when that pops off. So speaking of connectors, let's move on to our video transmitter. Now, I don't have experience with this video transmitter per se, so I can't say how good or bad it is. But I will say I do like the quality of it, how it's like, kind of reminds me of like a little pack of gum. Like the little unit, there's no exposed circuit board that I can see. The whole thing has basically a metal shield around it. One end you plug your little pigtail to hook up your wires. One end your antenna goes in. It's pretty slick looking. I also like how it came with this plastic card that shows like all the channels and everything, and it has like your pilot ID and what channel you're using and stuff. I don't know, just might be all marketing, might be all packaging, but I kind of like the way it looks. And you know, hey, a video transmitter is a video transmitter and it's pretty cool. On to these props. Now, this is what I was saying before. I always love some HQ props. It's one of my 2 brands. I like either Dal Cyclones or the HQ props. But the only problem I have with it is that we got 3 different pitches. So what I was saying earlier is that if we got, let's say, 3 sets of the same prop, and you fly a set and you chip one, well, that's easy. You go into your other 2 bags, get another replacement prop, put it back on the quad, and you can continue flying. And that you could repeat this process. And even if you hit the exact same prop from that first set, like let's say you keep hitting your clockwise prop, you still have 4 additional clockwise props because you had the other 2 bags. Here, let's say, you know, you're rocking these red ones, the ripping red at the 4.8s, and you crash and you chip a prop, and let's say you need, now what? you have to take all of them off, and then you try out one of these other ones. And the other 3, unless you go and buy these props again, you'd probably have to toss them, or unless you had some laying around or whatever. So the variety is kind of cool. You get to try 3 different props, but the variety also, I think, might be a bad thing, because if you break one prop, then you got to take all of them off to try the other ones out, unless you have replacements. So that's my feeling on these props. I do like the marketing, though, with the propsicle and stuff like that. And the shirt, I'm definitely going to be rocking this shirt. I wish it was a darker color. I mean, I love the darker colored shirts. That's my personal preference, but I am a big fan of the propsicle looking thing. So I am happy with the shirt. But now let's look at our total value. Just because I'm enjoying the items doesn't mean that we had good value. And unfortunately, normally I'm Mr. Cheerleader for a quad box being really awesome on value. And I will say, and I was kind of saw rumors about this box not being so swift, and I will have to agree, I don't think this box was so swift. A little bit of a letdown from quad box, because usually their values are really strong, and even, I don't know, I mean, it's just the one-time purchase being like $7.60, the subscription price being $17. I'm used to them being around, you know, in my mind, an average benchmark would be around the $20, $25 is like average. So this is a little bit below average, and that's taking into account these lanyards, which are really kind of, as factoring into that price. Now, if I would have counted these as their retail value of, you know, $10, then it would be like $27. But I didn't think that was fair. I mean, that's not really the retail value of this, because these aren't really even available anymore. So they're really kind of like giving them away, literally. So I feel like almost they should be not even counted, but I figure I should put them in a little bit. So that's why I did the $4.99. So I feel like Quadbox kind of let me down this month. I mean, I'm not going to cry about it. I'm not going to, you know, complain about it, because that's the risk you take. And just as bad as this one can be, the next one could be stellar and awesome. That's just the nature of a quad box. However, you know, you get what you pay for, and you know what you're doing. And I mean, I didn't get ripped off. I would say almost broke even on this one. And I definitely will use the props. I definitely will use the VTX. And I definitely will be using the Lollipop Antenna. These guys might end up in a package that I mail out to somebody, because, you know, I'm not going to use them, I don't think. So maybe one of you guys can use them. I'll give them away. So that's pretty much what happened with this quad box. All right, so now let's do a little bit of a comparison between Drone Drop and Quad Box for the month of June, and here you go. Now, if you're new around the channel, let me walk you through this, because there's a lot going on in this one little chart. So the first column there, that's basically 2018. I started subscribing in February of 2018 to both boxes, so this is what has happened since 2018. Then in the middle column there, that's the 2019 year-to-date, essentially, what's been going on. Last column there, that's the totals. Along the bottom, I have the differences, basically from whoever's in the lead to whoever's not in the lead, and how much on average they are ahead of each other. And then things marked in green means that's who's in the lead. And very interestingly enough, Drone Drop has now grabbed that green boxes. Quad Box has been holding the green boxes across all the columns there for quite some time, and now Drone Drop has successfully, for at least year to date, snatched up that green box. And why is that? Because really the last 2 months have been rather lackluster, and unfortunately that's what happens. They were coming out with boxes that were a little bit shy on the value, and Drone Drop's been dropping ones that are really high on the value. So unfortunately that means that as of this month, this box, they are no longer in the lead. But that doesn't mean I don't like them just yet. It just means that we had a little bit of a dry spell. And if I know Quad Box as much as anyone else does, typically when you have a couple bad ones, it means you're going to be getting a couple good ones later on. And it just sort of all balances out in the end. And that's what I'm kind of hoping for. Especially now with FPV Crate coming out onto the scene. That means there's now double the competition, because with 3 boxes, it means each individual box has 2 other competitors. So that means there's even double the reason to really try to provide some good value, as well it offers us, the consumers, better choices, so that if they don't provide good value, we can choose someone else to go with for our mystery box, and you may not be subscribing like myself to all three of them. So we'll see how this plays out, and we'll see how it goes along, but at least got some very interesting information here, and I'm really intrigued that Drone Drops now grabbed that top slot, at least for now. Let's see how long they can hold it. So I hope I got you some good information. Hope I helped you make a decision. Maybe you were thinking about subscribing to one of these. Maybe you weren't. Just checking it out. Whatever. They're fun to play with, fun to unbox, and fun to do. So, as always, my name is Tronage. Fly strong.